What is going on, everybody? It's the France, and we are here again for our Fastlane preview and predictions for this Sunday's Fastlane pay-per-view. A pay-per-view where WWE has shown that they really do not care, with how most of the show completely was thrown together at last minute. Notably, the women's tag team match to probably kick off the show or pre-show, which they haven't named the pre-show match, so I'm pretty sure Becky Lynch and Naomi versus Natalya and Carmella will be at the pre-show, because this match was made at last minute. This past Tuesday on SmackDown, we had Carmella tapping out to Becky Lynch, and then Natalya get challenged by Naomi for a tag team match at the pay-per-view. So I'm saying this is probably going to be your pre-show match, unless you're going to have the Bludgeon Brothers just demolish Breezango or the Ascension, or both. Becky Lynch and Naomi will go over, so I really don't care. Shinsuke Nakamura and Rusev with Aiden English in Rusev's corner. This match again also was thrown together at last minute because somebody in WWE forgot that Shinsuke Nakamura was on SmackDown and not Raw. So when we came to they want to showcase Shinsuke Nakamura before his match at WrestleMania, instead of doing what everyone expected besides me, which I really didn't want to see it, but hey, it is what it is. They didn't do the John Cena versus Nakamura match to give you two matches to work forward to at Fastlane. They decided, we're just going to leave Nakamura off the show until the last minute. And then, whoa, we forgot to put Nakamura on here. So, Vince, let's put Rusev against him. Let's have Rusev get buried even further than he already is. Which, Rusev, this guy is the most over guy in the company, besides Daniel Bryan, and when Stone Cold comes back, Stone Cold, because no one's more over than Stone Cold. But of the active roster who's wrestling, Rusev is, on SmackDown, I should say, Braun Strowman's very over, but you don't hear Rusev you don't hear Strowman chants at SmackDown, Strowman chants on 205 Live, Strowman chants at Ring of Honor shows. No, I wasn't at this past Ring of Honor shows they were at, but I was hearing that Rusev Day chant was going on at that Ring of Honor show, yet this guy is going to be in a throwaway match against Shinsuke Nakamura to give Shinsuke Nakamura a win before he goes to WrestleMania. So, yeah, Nakamura will beat Rusev, and that is that. The rest of it is our title matches, I'm pretty sure. Yes, everything else is a title match. Basically, after Royal Rumble, we're going to start with the Women's Championship match. How did we get to this, and how did Ruby Riott become the #1 contender to the Women's Championship? And we're going to bring this all the way back to the Royal Rumble, where Asuka from Raw at the time, which I'm sure I have an idea what's going to happen here, the Women's Royal Rumble was won by Asuka for the right to challenge either Raw or SmackDown's Women's Champion, which I do like the fact that they put that stipulation in there. I mean, remember back in 2004, which would have been the second Royal Rumble under the original brand extension, that the winner was name redacted, aka Chris Benoit, who was a member of SmackDown. And of course, he went to Raw the next night and challenged for the World Heavyweight Championship. So that was the second Royal Rumble of the last brand split, so it's only fitting that this is the second Royal Rumble of this brand split. I mean, it probably has no meaning on that, but it just means well, they did that last time where the first Royal Rumble was just, winner goes against the champion, and this time, same thing. But I like the fact that they put those in there. Anyway, the following night on Raw, the Raw Commissioner Stephanie McMahon convinced Asuka to wait until after the Elimination Chamber to make her decision, which of course, if it would have been the other way around and a SmackDown superstar would have won the Royal Rumble, they would have thought Shane would have been wait till after Fastlane to decide who you're going to face. The reason Shinsuke Nakamura decided to pick AJ Styles immediately is because Raw had the Elimination Chamber. And of course, how we all knew Roman was going to face Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania, even though I think I would take a Brock Lesnar versus Shinsuke Nakamura match over a Roman versus Brock, but that's no here nor there. The next night on SmackDown, Charlotte Flair wondered who her WrestleMania opponent would be. The Riot Squad came out and interrupted her and told Flair she would not make it to WrestleMania before attacking her and beating her down. Over the next couple weeks, Flair defeated Morgan and Logan in non-title matches. That is wrong. Oh wait, yeah, it was Logan and Morgan in non-title matches. On February 20th edition of SmackDown, Flair teamed with Becky Lynch and Naomi in a 6-woman tag team match against the Riot Squad, because that's the first time we've ever seen that match. I'm sorry, that was the millionth time we've seen that match, and hopefully after what I'm going to explain what's probably going to happen and what I think is going to happen, after what I hope is going to happen happens, this will be the last time we see the Riot Squad versus Charlotte, Becky, and Naomi, plain and simple. The Riot Squad, of course, Ruby Riott pinned Becky Lynch. Later that episode, Flair offered, which, of course, I don't know why this keeps happening. It's happened on NXT with Ember Moon challenging Shayna Baszler, who was not the champion. But why is the champion being the one making the challenges? Shouldn't the challenger, the person who wants to wrestle, wants to become champion, challenge the champion? When did this start happening where the champions just go, well, I'm going to put the title on the line. If you want it, come get it. Well, of course, Flair offered for the title on the line again at Fastlane against Ruby Riott, who did, of course, accept. So, yes. And then, of course, this past Tuesday, we had nothing really between either. We had a debate off between these two. And, of course, nothing really came down to it. There was no beatdown. There was no fight because Bobby Roode came out and it spoiled it. So nothing really happened there, and we have to wait till this Sunday. Charlotte's going to win this match, plain and simple. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I'm hoping, because it does not make any sense for her to not show up, I'm hoping after this match is over, Charlotte's in the ring, has the championship above her head, and then Asuka's little mask, whatever it is, shows up. Like, the lights might go. Maybe the lights go out. That's what's probably going to happen. The lights go out. The mask shows up on the Titantron. And then Asuka's music hits. And Asuka makes her way to the ring and lays out Charlotte. And it is then decided that she's going to win. She's going to WrestleMania to face Charlotte. So, the next stand on Raw, we would have Kurt Angle or Stephanie or both come out. Probably Kurt Angle. Come out and be like, well, Asuka's no longer here. She's going to SmackDown, and it's made official last night. So we need to find a number one contender for the Raw Women's Championship. And after what we saw this past week, which does not make any sense to me why you would do this, the Women's Championship, well, they're setting up Nia Jax versus Alexa Bliss. But again, what makes Nia Jax, and I will go over this more when we get to WrestleMania, what makes Nia Jax even contender worthy? Just because someone made you cry? Wow. Moving on. So, I say Charlotte Flair is going to win this match, and then Asuka will come out and lay her out, and there you go. Your match for WrestleMania is set up. We did, of course, going back to Natty, she said on SmackDown that she is going to challenge whoever wins between Ruby Riott and Charlotte for a match at WrestleMania. Sorry, Natty, ain't happening. Let's see what we have here next. Then we have I don't know why this match is happening. The New Day getting another title shot. The New Day getting another title shot after everything that these two went through last year. Throughout 2017, as you all knew, Jamie and Jay and the New Day wrestled a numerous events over the SmackDown Tag Team Championships, which was the best feud on the main roster of 2017, and might even be better than anything NXT did up at the time, because, of course, Tommaso Ciampa got hurt, and it got delayed till 2018 for the feud between Ciampa and Johnny Gargano, which will probably be feud of the year if done right, and so far it has been done exactly the way it should be. With the original feud ending at Hell in a Cell, with the Usos winning the feud. The Usos' next feud was Chad Gable and Shelton Benjamin, who were unsuccessful in gaining the tag team titles at the Royal Rumble. They do skip this over, but yes, the feud was supposed to end at Hell in a Cell, but then we get to Clash of Champions, which I guess everyone wants to forget that pay-per-view, and you had the New Day as part of the Fatal 4-Way, which it shouldn't even been a Fatal 4-Way, it should have just been a singles match. I'm surprised this is just a singles match. On February 20th edition of SmackDown, the New Day, Big E and Woods defeated Gable and Benjamin to become the number one contenders against the Usos for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships at Fastlane, which Why is this even happening? Again, the New Day have had their day in the sun. They should, again, I'm done with the New Day. I'm over the New Day. I've been over the New Day for a long time. I want them to break up and give Biggie give Biggie a push to be a single star, because he has proven he could be a single star. They just got to give him the chance. Why couldn't Rusev Day get in this? Why is Rusev taking on Shinsuke Nakamura? Why is not him and Aiden English going for the tag team titles? Maybe unsuccessfully, but still. The following week, of course, this was 2 weeks ago, the New Day said they wanted to be SmackDown Tag Team Champions going into WrestleMania. The Usos interrupted and said they had been with the WWE for a number of years. I think it's about 10 now, but had never had a spot on the main card at WrestleMania. They have always been on the pre-show, and said that would not be the case for WrestleMania 34, as the two teams got in each other's faces. They were interrupted by the Bludgeon Brothers, Harper and Rowan, and they all retreated. I'm going with the Usos on this. There is absolutely no reason to give the New Day the titles. I don't care if they're Vince McMahon's favorite tag team of all time. They've had their time. There's no reason to give them the tag titles, especially if you're going into this. You're going in with the Bludgeon Brothers and giving the Bludgeon Brothers all this quote-unquote momentum, which we have about 4 weeks left till WrestleMania after Fastlane. Please give the Bludgeon Brothers, if they are going to get the tag team title match at WrestleMania, give these guys something to do. Give these guys some competition to beat. Have them beat the New Day. Have them beat Gabriel and Benjamin. Have them go through everybody legitimate, which I know there's not many legitimate, but have them go through everybody legitimate. Give these guys quality wins. It's enough of these guys going up against just jobbers. This is like it feels like they're going to start being like the Ascension, where they take on jobbers, and then when they face other people, they're going to just get squashed. So you want to build these guys up. It's time for them to start facing teams that really matter. And I believe that gives us the United States Championship next, which I say the Bludgeon Brothers are going to go to WrestleMania, and we are going to see them win the tag team titles, and blah, blah, blah. Now we have the United States Championship, which, this I don't even know. This whole feud between Randy Orton and Bobby Roode started over this top 10 list that has not meant a damn thing outside of this entire feud. You don't see AJ Styles talking about it. You don't see Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, Baron Corbin, Dolph Ziggler talking about it. You don't even see the women talking about this, or Shinsuke Nakamura. Other than the day that it actually came out, they had him tweet out what they thought of the list. It hasn't meant a damn thing outside of Jinder Mahal, Randy Orton, and Bobby Roode. So what's the fucking point? The top 10 list, and Impact Wrestling back in 2010 did something like this, only it actually mattered. I think it was a fan vote actually. And the superstar who got the top, I'm going to say probably fudged it if it was fan vote. The superstar at the top of the list was the number 1 contender to the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. Quite honestly, I think a ranking system for they do it in 2K too. That's the thing. The 2K games, if you play My Career mode, or even I believe the GM mode or the Universe mode, they have a ranking system. Why can't WWE put a ranking system in? But this was not a ranking system. This was a bona fide popularity contest that has meant absolutely nothing. Immediately, 2 days after the Royal Rumble, General Manager Dana Bryan announced that there would be a first ever SmackDown Top 10 list, as voted on by the SmackDown roster. Who really cares? Bryan said the list would show who the rest of the start should get a title opportunity, which, I'm sorry. So, if the list, and this right here just pisses me off with this, if the list is supposed to be who should get title opportunities, why is AJ Styles and Bobby Roode and Charlotte even on this? I think the Usos are too. Why are the champions on this list? The champions should be nowhere near this list. You should, and don't even do a top 10. Top 5 men, top 5 women. You can't really do a top 5 tag team because there's not a tag team division for it, but a top 5 men, top 5 women, and if you want to, you can do an additional top 5 for the undercard. How hard is that? Anyway. But a wrestler could not vote for themselves. The top 10 list was revealed on February 6th edition of SmackDown. The following week, United States Champion Bobby Roode, Jinder Mahal, and Randy Orton all exchanged words as Mahal made fun of the spot on the list. Randy Orton made fun of the spots on the list despite Mahal not ranking on it at all. Orton and Roode were 9th and 5th respectively. The segment ended after Orton hit Evan with an RKO, who then suffered a coloss from Mahal. So, yeah, a guy who's nowhere near the list. He's probably not even in the top 20. Probably even not even, he's probably you have AJ Styles at number 1. He's probably whatever the final number for the SmackDown roster. It's probably Lana, then Jinder Mahal, or Jinder Mahal and Lana as the bottom of the barrel. Mahal again called out Roode and Orton, and a brawl broke out in which Roode hit Orton with a glorious DDT, but then Mahal delivered a cross to Roode, standing tall once again. Despite this, Commissioner Shane McMahon scheduled Roode to face Orton for the United States Championship at Fastlane. The following week in a backstage interview, Roode said that in order to be the greatest United States champion of all time, he would have to beat the best, and said Orton was one of the best of all time. Orton interrupted and said the U.S. title was the one title he had never held during his WWE career, and would be taking it from Roode at Fastlane. On the final SmackDown before Fastlane, Mahal, which I don't know why this match even happened, Mahal defeated Orton due to interference by Bobby Roode. So, I guess it has been said that Dave Meltzer and others have said this one is a toss-up. I honestly do not care who wins this match. I would like, they're saying it's supposed to be a triple threat at WrestleMania, maybe between these two and Mahal. Why wait till Mania? Like I said, we could just get to Fastlane on Sunday, and we go to the pre-show, and the very first thing we see is Mahal beating the number 1 contender for the U.S. Championship, and boom, we have a triple threat match. Why can't we do it both pay-per-views if we wanted to? WWE loves to rinse and repeat all the fucking time now, so what's the problem? So, I'm just going to sit there and say probably Bobby Roode's going to win the match. And then, of course, when we get to WrestleMania, I see Randy Orton winning it. Jinder Mahal is garbage, and Jinder Mahal should be out of the WWE. No ifs, ands, or buts. And that leaves us with the WWE Championship that has been a total fucking clusterfuck since the Royal Rumble has ended. As you all remember, at the Royal Rumble, AJ Styles defeated Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens in a handicap match to retain the WWE Championship. Although Kevin Owens, who was pinned, was not the legal man. On the following episode of SmackDown, Owens and Sami Zayn interrupted the 2008 Shinsuke Nakamura's celebration and said that they should be the co-WWE champions, but the referee failed at his job. Styles and Nakamura then teamed up and defeated Owens and Zayn during the match. There was tension between Owens and Zayn. As a result, General Manager Daniel Bryan scheduled them to face each other the following week to determine the number 1 contender for the WWE Championship at Fastlane. Their match ended in a double disqualification. However, as Styles was provoked by Zayn and attacked both men, leading to Bryan to schedule a triple threat match between the three for the title. Now, if it would have just ended there, I would have been fine. Excuse me. Triple threat match. Get the Owens and Zayn out of the picture, and they can move on to whatever they're going to do at WrestleMania. And I will be getting on that tomorrow about what this is all leading to for Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. And you're not going to like it because I sure as hell don't. Commissioner Shane McMahon then announced on Twitter that the winner of a match between Dolph Ziggler and Baron Corbin, for some reason, out of everybody on the roster, not even Randy Orton's in this match, nobody, just Dolph Ziggler and Baron Corbin. These two, what have these two done to warrant a chance to be in the Fastlane main event? It made no sense. It made absolutely no sense. The winner was supposed to be added to the championship match to make it a fatal 4-way. Before that match started, which when that SmackDown started, and you saw Dolph Ziggler coming out, and that match was supposed to start the show off, you knew something was going to happen. Zayn and Owens attacked Corbin in the backstage area and later went after Ziggler to prevent either man from being added. In response, Shane scheduled Owens to face Corbin and Zayn to face Ziggler, with both Corbin and Ziggler being added if they won their respective matches, while also threatening that if Owens or Zayn interfered in the other's match, that person would be removed from the title match. Corbin and Ziggler won their respective matches, thus making it a fatal 5-way, which is, it's so dead. A fatal 5-way, which I don't think they've actually used the fatal 5-way up until last year when they first started using them. A triple threat, fatal 4-way, fatal 5-way, every so often is fine. Every single fucking month we've had a fatal 4-way, fatal 5-way, or triple threat, or some kind of multi-person match. And oh buddy, we are going to have more of them at WrestleMania. We already have a triple threat match scheduled for the Intercontinental title, and supposedly the US title is going to get the same thing. Ugh. On the February 27th edition of SmackDown, free agent John Cena, who was unsuccessful in becoming the number one contender for the Universal title at the Elimination Chamber, made his return to SmackDown, determined to earn a match at WrestleMania 34. Bryan gave him the opportunity to be added to the WWE Championship match at Fastlane if he could defeat AJ Styles in a non-title match. When he did, turning the championship match into a six-pack challenge, a brawl then ensued between all six competitors to keep himself from being interrupted. And I don't care who you are. If you're on SmackDown going for a SmackDown title, he did make it a six-pack challenge. They did brawl, and I believe Ziggler stood tall. I'm sorry, no, John Cena did still stand tall. The next Monday, which is this past Monday, he shows up on Raw. He's only been scheduled. And this is the thing, and I'll get to this in a second. He comes to Raw to talk about this match, because he can use his free agent status. He can show up on either show, and I think it's just asinine for them to do that. If you're going for a title on SmackDown, you stay on SmackDown and you will do that. I don't care. You could do be a satellite thing. I don't care. He appeared on this past Monday's episode of Raw and said he would break his and Ric Flair's tied record and become a 17-time world champion. And he said that Styles should use his rematch clause to make the WWE Championship match at WrestleMania a triple threat match with Nakamura, him, and Cena. On the final SmackDown before Fastlane, Owens and Zayn caused a double disqualification in a match between Styles and Ziggler and made a fatal 5-way match. A 5-way match with the addition of Baron Corbin was scheduled and saw Zayn pick up the win. So you gave away. This is how much WWE does not care about this pay-per-view. They just want to get this over and done with, and we move on. They went from a one-on-one match, which was a pretty decent main event, to everyone but John Cena in the main event of the Fastlane main event on SmackDown in one match. I've been watching the Attitude Era. I'm almost done with the Attitude Era. I'm up to February of 2001. And this stuff happened all the time, and people loved it back then, where you would have people get involved and then matches are made. That worked then. It does not work now. You should not be giving away 5/6 of your main event of your final pay-per-view before WrestleMania, before the pay-per-view. Now, they're going back to dual-branded pay-per-views next, starting with Backlash after WrestleMania. I'm not a big fan of that because of how it's going to mess up their undercard. But if you're going to do that and you're going to get to WrestleMania 35, Fastlane needs to go. There better not be another fucking pay-per-view between the Elimination Chamber and WrestleMania. It's not needed at all. It needs to just be the Elimination Chamber in February, and March is used to build every single thing between then and WrestleMania, because this SmackDown, of course, gets a short end of the stick again because they get the final pay-per-view this year before WrestleMania, and what's happening? You get a shit pay-per-view. John Cena is not winning this match, plain and simple. Baron Corbin is not winning this match, plain and simple. Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens are not winning this match, plain and simple. And again, I will get to Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens and what their plans for at WrestleMania are, and from what I've been reading and what I've been hearing, it's not good, and they have wasted their time since October, and I will get to that on tomorrow for Unscripted. So, the only two who have a shred of a chance to win this match, and it's 95%, I'm going to say 97% AJ Styles and 3% Dolph Ziggler. just because of how much they're paying him and how much how they are booking him. So it would not surprise me if we get to WrestleMania and Dolph Ziggler walks in taking away the one match right now, in my opinion, the one match that is 100% worth getting WrestleMania for, the match that's making WrestleMania this year, unless they are so fucking asininely stupid. This match will be the match of the night. Will it main event the show? No, but it should. I say AJ Styles is going to win this. I'm going to stick with this, but the dark horse is Dolph Ziggler. Corbin, no. Cena, no. With the way they're doing John Cena, and I will get into this tomorrow too, because John Cena has come out and said that in an interview that he wouldn't mind missing WrestleMania due to the fact of the way they're booking him. He is desperate. This is desperate John Cena. He's going to do everything he can to actually to win this title on Sunday. I think it's going to cost him the match because he's so desperate to try and win this match that he's going to eat a phenomenal forearm, and John Cena is going to take the pin for this match. Why? Because it works into his storyline. How it wouldn't feel the same if John Cena failed, but he wasn't the one to take the pin. It wouldn't work, in my opinion. So that is going to be your Fastlane main event. John Cena will get beat. He will take the pinfall, and AJ Styles hopefully will move on to WrestleMania. I honestly think, yes, John Cena is going to be trying, as I believe AJ Styles cut a promo a couple weeks ago saying he has to keep his head on a swivel. Well, John Cena is playing a desperate desperate man right now. He needs to get to WrestleMania. And without being, this would be, if he does not make WrestleMania this year, this would be the first time when he's not injured, he has missed WrestleMania. So, he is going to be working his ass off to not miss WrestleMania. And every time someone goes for a pin, he's going to try and stop it, and eventually it's going to catch up with him, and he's going to get hit. He's going to break up a pin, turn around, phenomenal forearm, 1, 2, 3, and AJ Styles moves to WrestleMania. So again, we'll go over this again. I'm going with Lynch and Naomi over Natalya and Carmella, Nakamura over Rusev, Charlotte over Ruby Riott. Then Asuka will come in and make her presence known. New Day will lose to the Usos. Bobby Roode versus Randy Orton is a toss-up, so I'm going with Bobby Roode. And AJ Styles will overcome the odds and move on to WrestleMania. But that's going to do it. This is your Fastlane. Preview and predictions. I will be back here tomorrow for Unscripted, where we will talk about the plans for Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. We'll talk a little bit more about the North American Championship coming to the NXT brand. We will be talking about a possible new titles coming to the Cruiserweight division, and much, much more. Make sure to follow me on Twitter at TheFrance. Find me on twitch.tv/TheFrance08. And I will be back here tomorrow for Unscripted and on Sunday for the pay-per-view review. Until then, my name is TheFrance, and I am out of here.